Today I'm going back and taking a look at Mac. This is currently Season 4. I'm going to be going over his ultimate and passive abilities, setups for Horde and Escape for your skill cards, how you should buy your perks, and a couple of details. You can stay tuned at the end. I also will be showing you what a maxed barrier size looks like. What lethal barrier does to enemies, beginning enemies on master difficulty. Not going to be doing wave 30 or whatever, just doing wave 1. The increased barrier duration. I'll tell you the times and everything on that. But yeah, if you want to see a large barrier and how it can kill some of the enemies, stay tuned at the end. So we'll start off with his ultimate ability, and that is Mac will deploy a barrier. He deploys an invulnerable shield, and that is accurate. Nothing penetrates or damages him directly through the shield. Any teammates behind the shield are also protected by the shield. Passive ability is damage you take slowly recharges your ultimate, so the more damage you take, the faster you'll have your next ultimate available. For Horde, sadly, his best offensive setup can't be charged in the weapon locker. So there's a couple of ways you can run him. One, Crazy Tough is a very good card to start. Now, with the Boltok Bandolier, you will have 77 shots at max level. Mac will start with 36 Boltok shots, and if he's out of Boltok shots, he will regain 18 shots at the end of the wave. If he's at below 50%, just around the below mark, he will regain a substantial amount, 25 closer to the half, and closer to 50 at the low end if you're not completely out. With the max card, 77 Boltok at level 6, as I said, he will get back 45 shots at the end of the wave with no ammo. So if you are a fan of the Boltok, 45 shots for a wave isn't bad to get back. And if you can get an ammo box, that's another 12. So the standard barrier duration, just while I'm at it, is also 20 seconds. So at level 5, you get 30 seconds. At level 6, you will get 32 seconds. So we have Crazy Tough as the first card for Horde. Now, as I said, if you're going and you're okay with that Boltok, then your next two cards would be those, and then you would put in 2 barrier cards. Personally, I like the kills and the duration, but lethal can actually do a lot of damage, especially if your card is at level 6. Level 6 actually does a lot of damage for the barrier, so you could either go duration and barrier feedback and lethal, or barrier feedback and barrier battery. Depending on your card levels, all are acceptable. It's also for your style of gameplay. Are you holding down a staircase, or are you trying to press enemies? So you just got to make that decision. His escape setup is a little bit different. Let's just go into the escape, because I already have those 5 highlighted. Generally, you will be running Crazy Tough, Bloody Shot, Adrenaline Junkie, and Venom Resistance, because you usually play him on maps where you're going to be in the Venom. And Boltok Bandolier is your wild card, depending on how much ammo is needed before you get ammo boxes, depending if there's the modifier ammo starvation. So you can easily swap out the extra ammo capacity for one of the barrier cards, like barrier duration or lethal barrier, whatever is more optimal for that map, if the extra ammo is not needed. As far as buying perks in Horde, you can go up to level 4 on the damage resistance within like the first 25 waves. He'll get 22 for a level 4, so that combined with his increase of 60 health is pretty good. He has the increased damage, which is nice, increased critical, especially if you're going for the Boltok. You might want to go 1-1 and up that a little bit. And at least one on the cooldown per kill, because he currently, when he enters the game, he has no cooldown per kill, so at least getting some cooldown on each kill is really nice. And depending on how your engineer builds and how much money you have will depend on how high you put those, but would definitely put the damage resistance up to 4, making him a lot tougher to bring down. His shield regenerates fairly quickly, has a fairly low cooldown to begin with, so with the extra duration, and if you have his barrier feedback, you can get it quite often. And if you go for a full... Oh, I did want to mention that, actually. That is how you buy his perks off late. It's not too crazy. But just to note real quickly on the Horde setup. So if you were going to go for an all-out barrier and just drop the Bloodied, then you could... well, there's not too many cards, but yeah, you would go Crazy Tough, Kills, Extend, or Barrier Feedback, Barrier Battery, Lethal Barrier, and Barrier Boost. And I'll show you what it looks like on a quick one wave of Master, what a max size barrier and max lethal barrier will do. I do want to note, I do not recommend, I don't think he's really a Master's character at all. I think he's more of a low to mid-level difficulty, fun to play character. Pretty good health, 60% extra health. A lot of his cards are green. I mean, you can go with the Boltec capacity, and at max you're getting 77, so all 3 of those cards to get that set up is green, so that's not bad at all. Let's see what enemies we can get. I gotta execute him stuff. That was wave 1 on Master. If you are careful to keep the enemies in front of you, his lethal shield can be pretty good. As you see, my kills on duration, and my shield is actually still going. I mean, it's going to wear out before I can skip the wave. There it goes. But that's the max size barrier. You can put the entire team behind you, which is pretty cool. So, on a low level to mid level, with like people that aren't beating Master or Inconceivable or Insane like every single time, then he's a pretty good team player. I mean, his barrier is highly useful. The Bloody Botok and his health up and the Botok capacity are all cheap cards to get up. Barrier duration, lethal barrier, they're both blues. He's not that expensive. I mean, his legendary obviously is going to be a lot harder to get on low level difficulties. But with the duration, you can, at max level, you can get up to 32 seconds. At 5, you're getting 30. It's not much less. He starts with 20, which is pretty good, and gets it back up pretty quick. Anyway, that's my opinion of Mech. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps.